G'day gamers, I'm Red in Water and this is Kholat. This is an indie game from about a year ago based on the real-life Dyatlov Pass incident, which is a mystery from 1959 in Russia where some hikers went missing. We'll go through the introduction, which gives the real-life story. Obviously, what takes place in the game isn't actually confirmed as what happens. I haven't actually finished the game to see what the outcome is, but it's very much a supernatural-based kind of almost a walking simulator with some horror elements. We'll view the introduction, and which will give some information on the real-life incident, and then we'll get into the game. I'll start a new game. I played this for about an hour just to see how it runs and get an idea of how it all works. 56 years ago, Russia, the northern Ural Mountains, a group of 9 of the Ural Polytechnic Institute embarked upon a difficult winter expedition to reach the Otorten mountain. Their journey seemed to progress according to plan. However, on the 7th day of their trip, the weather conditions worsened. They lost their orientation and were forced to set up a camp on the slope of the mountain called Kholat Sialkal. It was their last stop. 3 weeks later in Yekaterinburg, when their family received no word of their success, the first rescue expeditions were sent. On February 25, 1959, an abandoned encampment was found. The tent was torn down and covered with snow, with all the group's belongings left inside. Further examination revealed that it was cut from inside out. The surrounding footprints indicated the crew had fled the tent. They were barefoot. This suggests a frantic escape characteristic of people scared out of their wits. 2 sets of prints led to a forested area down the slope. The rescue team found an improvised fireplace and 2 bodies. They were only lying in their underwear with cuts and scratches to their limbs, suggesting they tried to climb the tree in panic. What could terrify them so much? The next 3 bodies were found scattered a few hundred meters from the first discovery. One of them had suffered a fractured skull, despite no evidence of a struggle. It took the spring thaw 2 months later to enable the rescue team to find the last 4 skiers were found buried in a thick layer of ice and snow. Their autopsies led to even more bizarre findings. All of the bodies had severe internal injuries caused by an undetermined force, similar to that of a serious car accident. No external damage nor bruises were visible, besides a tongue ripped from one victim's mouth and a strange orange skin colour. Much speculations arose from these puzzling events. Such theories included attack from the local tribesmen, from an avalanche, or animals. Each theory, however, only served to create more questions. The truth behind this tragic course of events remains unexplained to this day. What really happened? Maybe the answer still waits to be discovered deep under the snow. So up until this point, the story is the same as the real-life Dyatlov incident. So if you go to look that up, you can get more information on what really happened. From here on, of course, it's just speculation, and it's just made for entertainment. So we're in the game now, and we have control. You can see it's quite a beautiful game, as many of these so-called walking simulators. You can't really interact with anything in this town, as far as I know. And I think it's more, this section of the game is more just to give you an idea of what you're actually doing here. So obviously you've come by train to this town and you're here to investigate what happened. I'm not sure that it really gives you an idea of what timeline this is, whether this is 1959 or much later. I get the feeling that it's quite a bit later, but I don't think it actually mentions what date this takes place in. I'll just mention that if my voice is a little more annoying than usual, it's because it's getting into spring here in Australia, and I'm getting my butt kicked by some pretty severe hay fever. I live surrounded by forests and orchards, and yeah, it's a bit of a pain, but we'll press on. I can cope with it if you can. About the only interactions you can do at the moment, apart from walking around, you can sprint for a short time, but you quickly become exhausted. So you can see as you get exhausted, your vision goes blurry, and eventually you'll stop. The only other thing you can do is if you right-click, you can kind of zoom your focus in to take a closer look at things. So we'll just get on with the game now. Okay, so this kind of foreboding forest is the entrance to the second stage of the game. You can see some glowing footprints in front of us, which I guess is an indication that we should follow them. You can see the art style is quite haunting. It almost reminds you of old black and white horror movies with that grainy effect. The game does have music, but I've turned it off to avoid any kind of copyright issues. And that's the same reason I quickly decided to put my own voice over the introduction, just in case there's any issues with that. So let's keep going. And surprise, surprise, we fall down into an unknown land.
In the end, the only thing I saw was a flash, an insufferable burning light, the pain ripping apart my body. I felt it tearing out of my soul. After a while, I was nobody, nothing. The light went out and I vanished into overwhelming darkness. I welcomed the end with delight.
I'm not sure what that passage is from, but it actually sounds familiar, particularly the last lines. And I have control here. If you just walk forward, you'll quickly discover this tent, which leads you to the next section of the game. It's interesting, I haven't been here, but you can see the footprints in the snow, as well as skiing items scattered around. And this is modelled off the real-life tent that was discovered. You can see that it's collapsed. It doesn't appear to have the markings from where it was said to be ripped open. But anyway, let's get on with the game.
I am right behind you. Have you ever tried to hold on to your humanity? When others convince you of being no more than a subject, an object, which they can bend to their will. When they told you that you were a monster that deserved punishment. When you could really not remember your sins. When they took away your loved ones, leaving you to rot in the dark. The problem is that in their darkness, you have never been alone.
Okay, so I have control again. You can see that the game takes on a truly supernatural kind of feel from this point. And obviously anything that happens from here out is just pretty much fiction. So here we are at the tent, which will act as the base camp for our expeditions as we try to discover what supposedly happened to the other hikers. We now also have a flashlight. However, apparently the flashlight can attract unwanted attention. And we have the all-important map, which is quite confusing at first to follow. Even when you know how the map works, it's still hard to find details. So I guess it's more true to life. There's not really any pinpoint indicators on a real mountain where exactly you are. So on this again, you need to try and find landmarks so that you can actually pinpoint where you are. There's nothing that tells you your exact coordinates, so you have to use the landmarks in the surroundings to try and find your place on the map. Right now, of course, we know we're at this campsite, so we have coordinates for this. The only other indicators we have are these coordinates that were marked on the map. So we can try to find those. So 37 north, 62 east. So if we go to 37 and 62, that's basically in the middle of these raised points in the map. So we might go there first. So from our location at the campsite, we basically have to just head straight south to southeast slightly. So if we turn, so that's north, so that is south. You can see by the needles on the compass, the red needle is the north point and the black needle the south. So we're facing south now, so in that general direction we should be able to find that location. The other thing we have is this logbook, which gives you a little bit of information, as well as some articles and diary notes as you discover them. So, let's get going. We will head south. If you open your map and move, it will lower the map so you can actually see in front of you. So you can see where you're going. Okay, so we'll head down this way. You can see occasionally you find these markings on the map. 35 north, 50 east. Is that where we are, or is that a new... No, that's a new location. 35 north... What was it? 35 north, 50 east. Okay, so we might head there next. I don't think... No, that's not actually listed in our list of coordinates over here, so we might check that out as well. 35 north, 50 east. Bit of spooky imagery. If you hear that sound like pages of a book flapping, it usually means there's a note nearby. So if you follow the sound, you should be able to reach that note. And you can see it glowing there. Okay, here we go.
I set out the moment I heard about the incident. I was in the area, so I reported to the unit myself to be automatically assigned to the case. I arrived at Vishai on February the 19th, a couple of days before the Institute's rescue. While waiting for them, I started asking around to see if anyone from among the locals...
Hi. Well, something's going on. I'm going to get out of here. That's pretty cool. I saw what looked like a spirit running over this way. See if we can see where they're going before we run out of energy. Oh, I just caught a glimpse of them disappearing in the distance. Okay, so that's all we're going to get from here. Yeah, I'll just mention now, I won't leave any of the long notes open. If you're really interested in reading about them, you can obviously pause the video. Okay, so if we're in the center here, and it was 3550. So if we head to the west, slightly north. Okay, so it's east. Sorry, I'm not very good at my orienteering. That should be roughly west. So basically if we perhaps follow this trail, that might be the right trail, I'm guessing. You can see this game doesn't really hold your hand. You have to discover things for yourself, which I quite like. As we get further on, you'll see some parts of the game which are a little more frustrating and I like a bit less. But we'll talk about that as we get to them. You can see the scenery is beautiful. And the sound effects. It sounds like you're really on a mountain. I'm guessing that's the bridge that's indicated on the map, just there, which means, yeah, this is very confusing. Okay, I can hear something flapping in the breeze. In case you're wondering, you can die in this game. You can fall off cliffs and the like. Don't tell me I can't get back up there. Oh, that's alright, I can come down to this part. Alright, so there's another set of coordinates. 27 north, 52 east. .37 north, 62 east. So 52 east is there. But I'm not sure, is that where we are, or is that where we should go? Well, I don't know. If you're not patient, this is definitely not the game for you. It's not the type of game you can rush through, that's for sure. Now, if that looks a little bit like a skull to you, then you're not the only one. In fact, this whole mountain appears to be made up of giant skulls. If that's what this mountain really looks like, then I don't think I would be going hiking there. Okay, there's a page.
We are sitting in room number 23, although sitting might not be the right word because we are running around trying to finish up packing anything else we could need. Food cans, tools, essentially whatever we get our hands on. We want to be sure that we took everything we could possibly need. We're running out of time.
Okay, so that was a note from one of the hikers, I guess. Let's cross over this bridge. Looks like something across the way there. I mean, it's only a few minutes since we were at the last site marked on the map, and I've already got no idea where we are. I think that's intentional. It's supposed to give you that feeling of how easy it would be to get lost in these mountains. Now, this is one of the annoying things, that you're a hiker on a mountainside, but even these small little slopes here you can't climb up. That's one of the annoyances with this game, but anyway. Alright, here's another one. So there's a note across there, a gap in between, there's no jump button. So in this case, what you have to do is basically run and hope for the best. And in that case we made it. But in other instances it's not really clear whether you can make whether you can leap the gap or not. So there's a bit of information about a town in Russia. Supposedly hosts the headquarters of a Russian research unit for natural phenomena. Interesting. Let's have a quick look at the map and see if we can work anything out. It does highlight where you have discovered notes. Unfortunately, I'm not sure which one of these we're at. I think this one, but we probably should have checked that before I picked up the second note, just to be clear. So if we're at this point and north is that's roughly facing north now, and there's the bridge. Yeah, I would say that we're at this spot here. So where to go from here, I don't know. The game saves from each note that you discover. It automatically saves. So that's one good thing. So we're at 3549. I guess we'll keep following the trail down to the south. Down this way. So that's to the south. I'm not going to play this game the whole way through. I'll just basically play until I die. Just to give you guys an idea of what this game is like, see if it interests you. If you're really interested in the game, and enough people ask, I could continue playing it in future videos. But it's not something I plan to do at the moment. Okay, so the path splits here. Let's see if we can spot that on the map. Well, not really. This is why it gets so confusing, that there's not... the trails on the map don't clearly indicate or don't exactly match up with the terrain. So I'm guessing we're around here somewhere. So where do we go now? I'll have a quick look here. Let's just go up this way. Okay, well this, I guess, leads down to the floor. I really have no idea. I guess you could go down that slope. But I don't know if there's anything down there anyway. So we might as well follow this other trail, which appears to be the trail marked on the map. Now, one hint I will give you, something I learned about the game. If you keep the compass out, it will start to spin frantically if you are near something you don't want to be near. And if it does that, well, then you should probably quickly hide. There's no way to fight anything in the game. Now we're coming to a cave, which I'm guessing is this section here. So we'll go through here. There is what appears to be a radio tower or something in the distance. But when I played the game before, I tried to get to it and I couldn't find a way. Okay, so we're outside the tunnel. Basically it's just saying, as far as I can tell, to head to another tunnel. Okay.
I have chosen you. You are remarkable, just like me. But you are losing your mind, my friend. You're slipping slowly into the abyss, and there is no one to give you a hand. And at the bottom, I am the only one waiting for you.
Alright then. Some cryptic messages being given to us. So I guess this is the second tunnel. Alright, let's go in. The game definitely builds some atmosphere. It's quite haunting with just the sound of the wind, a little bit of ambient music behind you. It's getting quite dark in this area now. There's some kind of marker here. It's like a totem. I don't know if they're marked on the map anywhere. Doesn't look like it. I can hear a page flapping in the breeze somewhere. There's some ski poles there. So this is just some information about some strange events in the area. I'm not sure how true to life these are. I have heard that there were people talking about strange lights in the skies around the area at the time of the original incident in 1959. But who knows how much of this is just urban legend that kind of grows over time. Whenever there's a lack of information, people tend to just fill in their own kind of blanks. Something there. church or something. I can hear voices around me, which is a little bit creepy. Hello? Now, apparently these spirits are harmless. You can see some kind of fog going over the church. I'll just see if I can pinpoint where we are. So that's where we found the note. So we must be down here somewhere. Now, in my last playthrough, it was not far from here that I died. So there probably won't be very much left to this video. So it kind of splits here. And I guess that's the trail that leads back here. Okay, let's just go down this way. So we're at this junction here. I might actually go around this way. Only because it's a different path to the one that I took when I died. Maybe we'll find something new. Don't know if you can get up these little areas. I don't think so. I don't think I've been here before. Okay, this is a bit creepy. "61 north, 32 east." It's not on my map. Interesting. Unfortunately, don't seem to be able to open this door. Alright, I think that's all there is for this cave. It's a bit odd the way the fog comes in and out so suddenly. Okay, so we're heading northeast. Up this way. You see, if we were going where I thought we were, there should have been a path to the west, but maybe not. Maybe I was on a different track. It would look to me as though we're up this way somewhere, seeing as we're heading east now. So we've either missed it or we're on a different path. I don't know. But we'll keep following this path. I think it leads us back to the first tunnel we went through. And I might take a different route and start heading back to base camp. I can only guess we're in this area somewhere. Perhaps we're above the tunnel. So that's the first tunnel that we came out of. I keep pressing the wrong button. So that's this tunnel here, I believe. I think. Yeah, that's this tunnel. And we went up this way, and around that corner there was the second little tunnel. So this time I'm going to go up this way. So you can see those pillars where we first went. So those pillars in the distance are this location here. So we'll be down here somewhere. Instead of doing that, I think I will head down across the bridge. Okay, so we are back at the location where we discovered this note, and I'm just going to follow the path all the way down here. This is the area where I encountered the spirits before. And I've got to admit, I am a little bit nervous. Oh, and there he is there. You can see it going a bit strange. Is he coming for me? Yep. Don't know if we can go and hide somewhere. He's still around. Alright, I'm not going to sit here forever. Let's go for a run. Oh, he's that way. That was the wrong way to run. I need to try to find somewhere else to hide quickly. Okay, so the needle's stopped moving now. Oh, it's started up again. There he is. See you later, buddy. Got no idea where I am, and I'm about to be trapped. Well, I would like to check where I am, but anytime you pull the map out, it turns your light on. Really got no idea where I am, actually. Oh, there's a cave here. Go up this way. I can see the spire of the church in the distance. Okay, let's keep going. I can hear a page. Alright, I'll read this page. That's Kholat. It's an interesting game, very atmospheric. The graphics are beautiful. The sound effects are very creepy. You really do, after a while, feel as though you're alone on some kind of mysterious mountain. But the gameplay itself, I personally find quite frustrating. Before I realised that you can use the compass to indicate when the evil spirits are around, I was just being killed constantly with no warning. They would just pop up in front of you and you would be dead. So obviously that was quite annoying. It does make it a little easier now that I know about the compass trick, to watch for the compass needle flickering. But still, the navigation part I personally find frustrating. Others might enjoy it. But yeah, I'll leave this video here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.